Welcome in, my friends. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the one habit you must develop for success and the five biggest mistakes to avoid when growing your business with what we're talking about today. I'm Katie Hornor, your host. Excited to have you here on the Flamingo Advantage podcast. Your Flamingo Advantage is that unique thing about you. It's the thing that you may think is quirky, you may think makes you different, and you know what? It does, but that's something you're supposed to leverage, not hide in your business. Flamingos in the wild are not out there bemoaning the fact that they look just like all the other flamingos in the thousands in their herd or in their flamboyance. They're out there doing what they were created to do in spite of the fact that they may look just like everyone else. The unique thing is every flamingo has their own voice, just like you do, and we can leverage that to grow our business. The number one thing that you need for success in business. And, I could talk about mindset here today. I could talk about lots of different things. But the thing that I really want to hone in on today is the actual, like the tactics or the rubber meets the road things. Like if you're going to have a successful business, you need to have an audience and you need to grow that audience intentionally, which means building an email list. Now, I'm someone who's been in business for 13, 14 years now. We have had multiple different businesses with multiple different email lists of multiple sizes for multiple purposes. And I will say that your email list is key to growing a successful business. If you don't have an email list, you are working on borrowed property. All of those social media could go away tomorrow. You know this, I know this, and yet we continue to put all of our eggs in the social media basket where we get to play for free or for pay on other people's platforms. And so I really want to encourage you today to be able to, if you don't have one already, sign up for an email service provider. Doesn't matter which one, they all do the same basic things. Just find one, get started with an email list and an opt-in so people can raise their hand and say, yes, I want to hear from you. Yes, I want more of what you were talking about. We give them a taste of what we do on social media. We show them the results that we get or that our clients get on social media. And then we want them to say, I loved that. I want more, like Barry Bumgardner says, right? And so using that idea to get people onto your email list. Now, when you do this, there's a few mistakes that you want to avoid, or it's not going to matter that they have opted in. They're still not going to pay attention to you. And so here is a list of 5 of the most crucial mistakes to avoid when growing that email list for your people. Growing the email list, again, it's a privilege to speak to your people on a regular basis. It is a trust factor that they have given you their name and email and invited you into their home sanctuary, so to speak, into their inbox. But there are some things that we can do that can sabotage even that influence that we're allowed to have in their lives. And here are those things. Number one, if you buy email lists, it sabotages your business, sabotages your trustworthiness. It can sabotage your delivery rates through the email service provider. This world is getting more tech savvy every day, and it's getting much easier to know when people are spamming and where those emails are coming from. Don't buy lists. Be authentic, be intentional about growing the list. Now, paying to participate in a giveaway where you're going to all have access to the emails that sign up, that's different than just going and buying a list off of another company, right? And most of us who sign up for lists want to know that we can trust the company not to sell our information. And so I think that's a big integrity thing there. Don't buy lists. Participate in things that can help you grow your list in collaboration with other people, but don't buy them. Those lists also often contain outdated information or irrelevant email lists. Like you don't know who you're getting when you buy a list. You're better off not even to try it because it can give you a bad reputation with your email sender. It can actually get you into legal issues, especially under the new regulations like GDPR and the CAN-SPAM Act. So just make sure that you're getting your emails from people who raise their hand and say, yes, I want to hear from you. And you'll be golden. You'll have the privilege and the opportunity to come into their world on a regular basis and serve them value and serve them a next step that they need to be able to do what they were created to do. Now, but don't buy email lists. That's the number one mistake in growing your business. Now, the number two mistake is ignoring permission, right? We always want to obtain explicit permission and consent from these people when we're adding them to our email list. This can be done through a double opt-in. It can be done through obviously them putting their name and email in for a specific thing and knowing that they're being added to your list. But failing to do this can result in spam complaints. They go and hit unsubscribe and then they say, I never signed up for this, or this is spam. And then that hurts your deliverability. It hurts your reputation. It hurts the reputation of your email service provider. It's just not good. It can damage or slander that reputation. So you always want to be sure that you are clear in exactly what they are signing up for, exactly what they are saying that they want to receive from you, what you will be sending. And be sure that you've got that either through explicit information on the sign up page or through that double opt-in and double opt-in means you put in the name and email, and the first email you get from that person says, we just want to confirm your subscription. Please click here. That's the double opt-in. All right. And most of your email service providers provide a way to do that. If you're in Europe, I believe it's actually a requirement that you do that in order to add people to your list. So just be careful about that. The number 3 mistake that we can make when growing our email list is a lack of targeting. Sending generic emails to a broad audience leads to disengagement. It leads to high unsubscribe, but segmenting your email list based on factors like their demographics, their behavior, their preferences, all of this can tailor your content to the interests and needs of your people. Now, most of the people who have signed up for my list have signed up because they want biblical Bible principles or they want outside the box marketing ideas. Right. And so most of my people are either in those 2 categories, which are often in the same email that I send. I usually, if I'm talking about marketing, I'm also talking about values and biblical principles and vice versa. Right. And so for me, it's not as big a deal. But if you're like a health and wellness space, or if you are something that has multiple tiers or multiple topics, you want to be able to give the people who sign up to your email list a way to express what they're interested in receiving from you. Because then if you send something they don't want, they're less likely to unsubscribe because they're getting from you consistently the thing that they want. This can be done when they sign up, either to have topic specific sign up forms that you're putting out into the world, or it could be done in that first email where they get to, click and tell me which one of these you would like to hear more from me about. And you can tag them that way based on their preferences and then send them those things. In our email system, for example, one of the things that we do is we tag everyone when we share a link to the audio podcast versus the video podcast, so that we can go back and when the next one comes out, we can be sending that email to the people who like the video. Or if they clicked on the podcast one, we can send it to the ones who liked the podcast. We're catering to their preferences in terms of the content that we continue to provide. Number 1 was don't buy email lists. Number 2 is don't ignore getting permission. Number 3 is target them, segment them, and know their preferences. The number 4 mistake that we make when growing our email list is being inconsistent in our sending frequency. And this is something that I see a lot. Like we all have great intentions and then life happens, right? This is your business. Treat it like a business. Put those emails on your calendar as if they are appointments with the dentist or the doctor, right? Don't miss this. This is your opportunity to engage with your people, to hear from them, to pour value into them. Don't be inconsistent. Now, if all you can do is once a week, then do it once a week. But if you're going to set out to do it twice a week, then put it on the calendar, be consistent, make yourself do it. All it takes is sitting down for an hour in most cases to be able to write out the 8 emails you want to send this month and then pre-schedule them so that you can send 2 a week. Be consistent. When you bombard your subscribers with emails all at once and they weren't expecting that, it can be detrimental. A lot of them will be like, I don't want to hear from her twice a day, every day, and they'll unsubscribe, right? But also, if you don't email them frequently enough, it's easy for them to forget where they found you or how they signed up for you. And so you want to be frequent enough that you're staying in top of mind to them, and you want to give them value to the point that they can look forward to getting your email in their inbox, but you don't want to overwhelm them or bombard them to the point that they may report it as spam or unsubscribe. Now, if you are being consistent and people unsubscribe, I also want you not to worry about that because they're self-selecting as not interested anymore, and you no longer have to pay for the email service to send them emails that they don't want. It's a win-win for everyone. So that is just an extra little tip here is make sure that you're keeping that unsubscribe button visible on all of your emails. I get so many emails that don't have it included at all, which is illegal, by the way, for mass mailings. And then I also get lots of emails where people have tried to hide it. Like they paint those letters white so they don't show up in your email at the footer. here. Don't do that. Make it obvious. Let them unsubscribe if they want to. That's just them saying that they are not your people, and that makes room for more people to join your list. This is a world of abundance. There's more than enough for everyone. And if I'm not serving you the way you need to be served, then by all means, please go and get it from someone else. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It actually helps my bank account in terms of what I pay for my email service provider. And that's just another the way that I can serve, right? Give you the permission to go and get what you need elsewhere if you're not finding it with me. All right. And then the fifth thing that we want to look at in terms of a mistake not to make when we are growing our email list is neglecting to optimize for mobile. Do you realize that 80 to 90% or more of the people in today's world are looking at what they're looking at in their emails, in their social media, in their internet searches on mobile devices? We are getting lower and lower and lower numbers in the statistics of people who actually use desktop computers, and more people who are opting to use their phones and their mobile devices. So be sure that you are optimizing your emails that you do send, and you're optimizing the landing pages for people to opt in for those emails so that they look good on mobile, so that they see what they need to see in that very first thing that pops up in front of them, and they don't have to scroll 5 times, because what happens is we lose interest when we have to scroll 5 times to find what I need. And so on your landing pages, make sure that it's short and sweet and to the point, right at the top of the page, name and email put in right there. They don't have to scroll to find it. And then in your emails that you're delivering, make sure that those are optimized for mobile as well. If you've got photos or pictures that you're including in your emails, buttons and things like that, make sure that they optimize to the screen that they're being delivered to, so that you don't have photos that are taking up like the whole screen and nobody can see anything else on a mobile device. Make sure that it's user friendly and that it's responsive so that your people can visually engage no matter their screen size. And that will really, really help. And so I hope this has been helpful to you. The number one secret, I believe, tactically to having a successful business is being able to grow that audience, grow that email list so that you can consistently get in front of your people with adding value to their lives and offering them a next step with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's something else that you think is a mistake that we need to avoid, feel free to leave us a comment below. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. We'd love to have them in the audience as well. Thank you so much for listening today and being a part of this. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode.